Welcome back to Factorio, my playthrough of the Nullius mod. So last time I started into the high pressure stuff by making this hydrogen oxygen setup as a backup power solution. So definitely shouldn't be having any issues with power anytime soon. Got an awful lot of these wind turbines that most of the time they are more than adequate, as you can see there. Also got, I think it's about 100 megawatts, 133 megawatts of Stirling engines. So when the wind power is not enough, you've got Stirling engines. And then I've got an awful lot of these backup turbine 2s now, so I'll probably set that and just click on that. There we go. You can see these don't actually run very often, even though I just built them. But they can go up to, going up to about 84 megawatts, 85 megawatts. And this has a lot more capacity, so it should be good for a long time coming. Therefore, I think the next thing I'm going to work on, while I'm just waiting for more of that science, is going to be replacing this, because I can get high pressure nitrogen, I can get high pressure carbon dioxide. Don't actually think I've got too many uses of high pressure nitrogen, but it cuts out this whole stage here. I can just store it up directly and then I'll have that for even more backup power. High pressure CO2 can go into other things. So I guess while I'm at it, I should rebuild this as well. So essentially I can take this setup and that'll give me high pressure hydrogen, high pressure oxygen, and I'll actually check the numbers, but I think it's more efficient than this as well, so I need less of them. Now, I realised a bit of a mistake here. There's no point having these two modules here, because even the one module gets that down to the minimum. I could put like a speed module in or something and make it run faster, but given the ratio between these and the fact that these can't have modules anyway, I don't think it really matters. So I think actually I'm going to do the hydrogen oxygen first, and I think I'm going to do it. I'm thinking here, because it doesn't actually need to be tuned to the water, I just need to dump out the waste product. So if it goes here, this fits quite nicely in this gap, and this gap I think is not big enough anyway for that. But first of all, I'm just going to delete the old backup power solution. This I don't think has any value anymore. I probably should turn that off, because I didn't want to pick up all that stuff. I'll dump that out in a minute. Oh yeah, delete all this. And then this will be built here. I'll just let the robots take care of it. In fact, let's work out where the wind turbines should be, because again, I think it's better to have the wind turbines and then just build around them. It's providing a lot of power for very little effort right now, and I quite like the idea of a lot of power for not much effort. So those would go up there. Also, I've got the roboport, not the roboports, but the relays and the chargers and stuff attached to that. So once they're built, it will provide me other essential resources. And then, that's very nice. That actually fits between the turbines and that cliff there. I don't even need to destroy stuff. So I guess I'll leave the radar there for now. Let's put this. Let's go over there. That looks good. And the only thing I need to do. Of course, these wells, they don't actually rotate properly. When you rotate them, they have the output on a different point. So let's fix that quickly, and then I need to get this wastewater out from somewhere. So let's take... I think that looks good. I can dump it into that there. Put an outfall 2. That will have more than enough capacity for this, I believe. Where's that one to go? It wants to go there. So that can link up very nicely. Well, that's a little bit too far away, but that's fine. I'll put a bit of pipe there. And yeah, that's basically the hydrogen oxygen done. I just need to... I didn't automate those electrolyzers. Well, you don't need very many of them. I'll just make those by hand. And... yeah, I'm not actually using very much backup power. This still is full of stuff. In fact, it's not even finished processing the... yeah, still got water in it to process. Well, I'll leave that alone for a little bit and see if it's going to clear. Although honestly, like at this point, energy is not that valuable. Like it's not the end of the world if I just deleted it, and I'd lose the energy it's essentially storing. But if energy is not valuable, then what's the big deal? So once those are built, I will once again be needing to store the gas. So I think I put that here because I don't really want to destroy the cliff, so it's kind of nice to build around them. Now these tanks are pretty dense, so I think I'm going to get more than enough storage in this space. Question is, do I want to have pumps on multiple sides? Well, let's leave that for later. I think if I put that there, which leaves enough space, I could put more tanks in should I need to. then I won't have any issues for now. I can put a pump in the top for this one, so in fact I won't have a pump on there, I don't think so. But I'll use these pumps. So where's that one to go? It's really hard to actually tell. There you go, got it like that. It's hard to tell what the border is on some of these things. But that does basically line up there. In fact, since I don't particularly need the space, what if I just move that down? Give myself a little bit of extra space to work with, I'll line up with that. So give that pass, that's going to go in there. Leave a space, don't want to accidentally touch that of course, otherwise I end up filling the tanks up with wastewater, that'd be unfortunate. But then that can go there. In fact I'm going to make a slight change to this. So if the output on these is what? So that's speed 2, it's outputting 32 per second. It's so much more like time efficient. Actually I was thinking of venting it, but since this is compressed oxygen, I think I can run compressed oxygen through turbines. Which means this is another backup. I'm probably going to have surplus oxygen, so this is essentially more free backup power. So actually given that, let's do that. I do want to make sure I have a big stock of hydrogen though, because I'm using surge here. So this needs to be enough to supply the entire factory with any sort of low duration things. So it's basically taking over what all of these tanks here do. So that's going to come down there. There's going to be... yeah, I think the input goes there. Once again, using pumps because the pipes, they have lower pressure limit than the actual tanks. So you want to pump on the input just to make sure they fill all the way up. So carry on building that. They're going to fill up that. And what I'm going to do, I think then, is I want to keep some of this back because again this will be for the whole factory, so I can't just shove it all into turbines. So what I'm thinking, yeah, if I say 6 is enough. 4. So this is I'm going to try and keep 6 stored up all the time. Going to put another pump over here, but this time I'm going to attach a wire to it, and let's see, 225,000. That seems like a good number. So we want the gas, which is, where is it? Compressed oxygen. There it is. To be less than 200. I should probably go even further than that because the actual throughput's not that high, so let's go 240,000. So if there's more than 240,000, let's actually just move that somewhere a little bit less in the way. There, looks good. Like so. So yeah, once I've got that much stored up, what I'm going to do is put it into some auxiliary tanks. Like so. Don't know how many of these I want really. It's going to be another question to figure out over time, I suppose. Honestly, these tanks though, they're actually not that expensive, so yeah, I could do a lot of them like that, and it's still kind of cheap. So, going to put the turbines here, I guess, then, and then. Let's see, what sort of condition do I think I want on that? While I wait for them to build it. I guess I do the same condition again, because this is just an overflow. And it's going to overflow straight into a chimney. One chimney does 500 per second, probably more than I'm ever going to need from there. So that seems like... oh, these are chimney 1s. Where's the chimney 2s? I thought I made some somewhere. Oh yeah, chimney 2. So that could fit there. And if I do need more chimneys at some point, because obviously this does 240, that's going to go through. But for now, I'm going to take... have I run out of red wire? Okay, what's a little trick there? When the robots build something, they don't actually use wire. So if I do that, I get the wire for free. Also, I did that condition wrong. I should have been greater than, not less than. So let's go let these tanks fill up. If I've filled up with hydrogen, then I don't really care. I'm just going to stop. These can go idle. Maybe I should have done this the other way around. Well, I can still get out there, so if I need to take the hydrogen north or south, whatever, I've got a space here. I can put, for example, I can put a pump there or something. It should be fine. Actually, I do really want the pump to be right there, don't I? As I talk myself into moving this, yeah, let's move the oxygen storage over there. Or am I just moving the problem? I think I might just be moving the problem at that point. What I can do before there's too much, let's just move those out the way. Give myself some space to work in. Have to make another cable then, but that is fine. And that's going to be the transfer pipe there because I don't need this to be full throughput. But then that can be like the output there, that can go like, it'll go like that way or something. So that's all working nicely. I'm not sure once again exactly how much gas I'm making. It's hard to see the numbers on these pumps. I wish they showed like an average over the past minute or something. Still a lot of gas in here I've not used up. I think this is drained at last though, so that's all drained, that can go. I might cut the power or something by accident, but if I do, I guess I'll fix that afterwards. So let's get rid of this. Get rid of that brine pipe as well, so let's do a quick tidy up of various bits and pieces. So this pipe went all along here through here. Yeah, and it went up to here, and I think this will be fine because they should still be getting brine from here. Actually, that's consuming brine. No, these make brine. So if there's not any brine coming from that setup anymore, then the entire purpose of these is to just make brine. So working out the space on these turbines, I think that's hitting a cliff. If I go there, I can do what? That would be 2. Leave a space, 2. So I get that many in quite easily, so don't know if that's a proper number or not, but that fits easily. And I say I'm not so bothered about the ratio on this one because this is just basically I expect to have excess oxygen, so I might as well do something useful with it. So put those there. Power's going to be something like that, and then pump on there to keep it pressurized. As I said, I believe you need less compressed gas. So I hope that's the case. If you look at... Actually, these go through compressed gas quite quickly, so that's probably way too many. Because there's no point being completely wasteful. Let's just build the first set, and then I'll see how that goes. And then if in the future I find that... I mean, well, I guess the backup power is all kind of equivalent. Like, it's the... Since it's essentially energy from energy, I'm not putting any, like, I'm not putting iron into it, I'm not putting any sort of ore into it at all. It doesn't really matter to me what the balance is between these different setups as long as the total is good enough. So thinking about it, I actually want to leave this space clear for actual production because there's probably going to be a whole load more module stuff. And maybe I want to rebuild rubber, plastic here because it's going to have outputs and they need to get more access to the bus. Whereas this CO2 is just one pipe, like one pipe I can run. It's not a capacity, I can run 2 pipes, I can run a pipe with a pump heavy, like a few sections. As long as there's only one output, it's a lot easier to deal with, so I don't mind running a single thing long distance. So yeah, I'm basically thinking I put this even further away from the bus. Maybe I put it down. There's quite a lot of cliffs there, I don't really want to get rid of them. This was already quite out of the way to start with. Let me see, maybe I could put it down. I've got the other chemistry stuff here, maybe I'll put it down here. At some point I'll eventually get around to mining out that, but for now I'm just going to leave that alone. So if I build it, oh, there's cliffs there, isn't there? Definitely more cliffs, could definitely do with a nice big flat area, which is kind of there, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to expand that. And if I expand that and I built there, I've got a problem. Whereas at least this was fairly compact. Do I just put it there like I was thinking? Try and sandwich it between these cliffs, sandwich it between these cliffs. Do I potentially take the hit and try to just demolish this and build it in place and hope the whole economy doesn't collapse while I'm doing it? And that would be an option. Where to put things, where to put things. Down here could be an option. There's a lot of stuff here that uses CO2 and such like, I believe. Also uses hydrogen. I think I'm fairly unlikely to... I think it's also actually where this trace gas or argon, whatever it is, argon, goes. Yeah, it goes down. Or how about here? This is like the best of both worlds. There's no particular reason these solar panels need to be where they are. So let's just move these old solar panels. Might as well keep them, but they can just go somewhere out the way again. I think down here looks good, so let's put those all down there. Don't need those beacons and stuff, those are stuff that happen to be there. So all of this can go and they can move it down there, gives me some building space. And then I can go down here and I'll figure out the nitrogen and CO2 production. So this is going to involve beacons, I think, and modules, which means it's not going to be a perfect ratio whatever I try. But the reason I'm thinking that is because since these only produce regular air, I think the only way I'm going to get around that is if I take basically I'm taking these compressors. Where's a compressor number 2? Do I make those yet? I think I'll research that. Let's get a compressor number 2 and then we'll look at that. So yeah, I basically want to chain these 3 things together. So this can compress air into compressed air at a rate of 65 per second times 3. Kind of wish I got a calculator, but that's going to be about, what, 195? So just under 200. It also takes in, how much is it taking in? So that's 260 times 3. That is a lot of air. So if these are producing... Did I get that right? Oh no, this produces 150. I need 780. So that's 150, 300, 450, 500, 600, 750. Yeah, it's not going to be a perfect ratio whatever I try, is it? I could put a speed module on that though, which just confuses things more. So let's do the math quickly. If one speed module on each of these will make that math work out nicer. So I played around the numbers. I'm actually tempted to use the haste module 2, which I might need to go and make, because if I did the numbers correct, 4 of these with a haste module 2 matches one of those perfectly. The speed modules I would need 5 or 6, I believe. I would need 5, so less machines sounds like a good thing. I could also do something with a beacon, so that's an idea. But for now, I'm going to try and go with 4 of those. So 4 of those goes into one of these. This can't take any module or beacon effects. Then that's going to go into air separation, air separation pressurized. So that's going to be 100 every 2 seconds. It's going to give me compressed outputs. It's actually kind of like air separation too, so I do get the residual gas. I will need to do that, which I've got this for. So that'll be something to do somewhere. So let's take this one. Then I am actually going to put yield modules in this. So my rationale behind this is because this is a fairly expensive setup, because basically that compressor that's going to use 3 megawatts whether I do have modules, and let's just call it 4 megawatts in total by the time you account for those, whatever. Then getting that extra 10% productivity on 4 megawatts by basically saving 400 kilowatts and a bunch of machines. So this plus 80%. Let me see, so that's 810. So it might actually be slightly more energy efficient. I'm not going to promise it's more energy efficient, but I think by the time I put beacons on this, that will be the way to go. We'll have to see exactly. But basically because this is starting from a very low energy level and this is a very high energy level. Now speaking of beacons, I wonder if I can get more efficiency out of those. So let's say I had that there. Small beacon, 1. So I could get 3 of those there, have a pipe, in fact. Yeah, actually there's a gap there, so that's the air intake pipe. If I then put 4 of those there, look at what the tiling on this is going to be as well. And maybe there. So then these are going to get this effect on the beacon for free. And I could even put... might even be worth putting an energy efficiency one on there. That's going to be something to experiment with. So if that's, say, there, that gives them 2.3, because remember these kind of use up their 175 watts all the time. Kilowatts rather. 175 watts, that'd be very cheap. That's getting a lot of crafting speed because it's getting it off of there and there. And they don't even use up that much energy. What would this do? Brings it down to 40%. That brings it down, or it actually brings those down to their minimum pretty much. Well, not quite, but nearly. And it brings those right down to not much at all. So basically I'm getting that extra crafting speed for free, I think. Well, no, actually, so they're offsetting the yield modules. So I get a crafting speed of 2, a productivity of 10, while using not much energy. That's kind of nice. Don't know if this is necessarily the most efficient way of doing this, but it's definitely looking like a nice way of doing it. Now I just need to find a way of fitting this in. In fact, that's not a very good alignment on those anyway. Let's go with that. Yeah, that gets those lined up nicely. And then maybe what I do is that. So if that's the output, goes across there. Bring those inputs together like that. Now let's just check how many of these I actually need, because I'm just doing this from what it looks like, but I didn't actually test it. So if that needs 100 every 2, that's basically going to say 100 every second, so 200 per second. Yeah, this might not work out as well as I thought it would. I really should kind of a calculator that works with these beacons more easily. Maybe I could have a calculator where if I actually built the thing, then it would tell me what the output of the thing I built is. Cause I tried stuff like Helmod and stuff, but if you're doing like traditional woes like this and they're all exactly the same, it's not too bad. But as soon as I started adding in these large beacons, because of how they interact with stuff, it became... I couldn't really think of a way of actually putting the data in very easily. It became a bit of a headache. I did try it out, but maybe there's something else I could use. Well, okay, so 65 times 3 is 195. Even though that's slightly over 200, I guess actually that does work. This could be the way to go. Because then this tiles like that, which isn't exactly... That's quite a nice tiling. I guess I'll have to lose some of these, which I suppose I can live with. I'd rather not lose them, but I don't think... I can get 2 in there. We'll see how it goes. Let's just start with that. Wait for the robots to do their job, and then I'm going to look at the next thing. I guess I'll look at the next thing. They're doing a terrible job. Let's just try and get something out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. So essentially that's going to be CO2, residual gas, and then I suppose I might as well link those together. They are pretty close. Not enough space there for an underground though. But I do residual gas here because it stays out the way as much as possible. So underground, underground, underground. That goes there, that goes there. So that gives me... They just underground there, they underground there, they underground there. And then, where's that last one there, that would underground there. And then I should be able to tile this across to the other one. And then extend it along as needed. So I'm going to need to do residual gas separation anyway, I'm using argon. So if I take another one of those, I don't think I'm going to need very much of it though. And I'm not sure if it's worth the productivity module. I think I'm still going to be limited by CO2. I might change that in the future, but for the time being, I think CO2 is the issue. So, going to take that. That might as well go straight into a ported turbine. I could probably make a ported turbine 2 now, can't I? Oh no, the ported turbine 1 is a turbine 2. Fair enough. So, that goes on there. There's literally no point keeping the steam. I can make steam anywhere else I need it, I think. Compressed trace gas. I don't know what compressed trace gas does. Compressed argon, don't we know what that does? We'll leave that alone for now. We'll just go with something simple. So that can go there. I wasn't going to spend all day thinking about it and not actually building anything, and that wouldn't be great. Okay, I actually want to move that over 1 tile so that lines up. That's going to output Oh, what, like 28 at a time? It's going to be nothing for that. Perhaps, maybe I should have just vented it. It'll be easier. That turbine is going to just... It's going to annoy me because it's going to do the start-stop thing all the time. And that will annoy me. Trace gas. I don't know what trace gas is used for. I'm just going to put it in a big tank. If the tank gets full, I'll worry about it when the tank is full. So, let's put that there. So, one tank for that. Can I make that line up? Not really. Kind of a shame these don't have the inputs on the corners. But yeah, it's not going to work anyway, because I do need to actually have the input. And I do want to pump on the inputs. Let's do that. Let's get a small pump. I think I've got some small pumps, yeah. So, small pumps just to make those tanks fill up as much as possible. Then I've got the argon and I've got the trace gas. Get that all power. Then have I left myself space there? I think so. Yeah, I think I left space there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm only going to borrow a pump because I don't think it's particularly important storing a lot of that. So I'm just going to have a relief valve. 75% is fine, so these tanks won't actually fill up, but that's okay. That can go there, and there you go, they can go into some vents there and there. So that's my supply of compressed argon. Trace gas for, I'm not sure, I'll probably need it at some point. And then, if I move that, yes, move that there, so I don't break the robot network. Then I can get rid of that, move the car, and extend this over to the left a bit. And I'm just going to basically copy-paste what I've got. How many would be the question, I suppose? Maybe... Let's just see how many goes up to that turbine. Yeah, that's a good number. So let's go with that. So a big deviation from before. So this would run even on backup power before because it's not using any surge stuff. So I didn't need very much CO2 storage. Because I use surge compressors here, I am going to want a lot more CO2 storage. Because I'm going to need enough CO2 storage, the same as with the hydrogen here. I need enough to carry me over any low times. So, I'm going to put a big block of these in. Also, these tanks are so cheap, it's like... I can't think of any good reason not to just put a big block in. So that's going to be the CO2 storage. Give it a pump to make sure it fills up to capacity. And I'm not going to have any overflow because I think the CO2, like I said, is going to be a limiting factor. So once these tanks are full, then they can just sit there full. Then going to have a lot more for compressed nitrogen because it just fits nicely, I guess. And then that's going to leave me some space here to put the turbines. So find one of those that lines up. Looks like I actually forgot to connect those pipes up. Oh, I was connecting them there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just change this and then connect them that way then. So that gets rid of all of those. That goes onto there instead. And have a little bit of pipe in between there. As for the tanks, I just need to find one that lines up. Can't fit the big pump, but I can fit a small pump. That's a perfect size as well. That one lines up there, so that can be the one that goes. And how should I do the dumping on this? I think have a chimney 2 just in case. Shouldn't be too much contents in this pipe though, so what I think I'll do... Yeah, that's good. So I'll put that there, put a auxiliary valve 25%. With this pump, until these tanks are full, this should never have more than 25% in. It should only have a tiny bit. And then that can vent up to 500 per second. Which, what do these actually output? Like 66 times, well, 66 times 2 divide 2, so we'll call it 66. We'll call it 60, 120, 240, 480. I'll put one on the end as well, just to be sure. And now to replace the backup turbine. So what I'm thinking here, doesn't look like there's much space here. I could try and fit them in there. I think I want to leave this space clear for other industry, but it looks like here could be an option. We'll see how many fit. So that's up against the cliff. Leave a little bit of space to deal with those. So if I had 2 there, I wonder if I can get 60 in. I'm going to go with that for now. I'm not sure if it's worth destroying those wind turbines over it because like I'm just them destroying power to maybe get more power. Might not be a good deal. So let's get power to poles down on these. That's going to go like there and there. But I need to work out how to get it out of here. And what I'm thinking is maybe I use these high capacity pipes, because it's a little bit of a trip, although using a big underground piece there will actually cut down the length for a lot, because I don't think the underground segments, I don't count the underground pieces in like the throughput. So that's why you like use undergrounds instead of regular pipes for throughput purposes. Now, can I actually get enough things on here easily? 1, 2. So let's say I want to put more than one pump on each one. Now, how many was I doing? I did one pump on each one there. So that'd be 1, 2, and 3. Not sure it's going to be the pump or the pipe that's limiting. Can I make better pumps yet? I don't think I can I? Well, let's assume it's the pipe. And if it's the pipe, I can do that. Because that very short piece of pipe will have a lot of throughput, so that piece of pipe shouldn't be an issue. And then corners will be this. I might want to make this more compact in the future if I want to. If I want to build here, I'll redo this, but I guess for now it'll function. It's just not necessarily as compact and out of the way as it could be. Using up essentially a lot of space for not very many pipes. So that one goes there, that one goes there, there, and there. Make sure they've got some power supply. Why is that not connecting? Or is that power pole maxed out? I think that power pole is maxed out. Well, I can just put one of those and that'll just cover everything. Problem solved. Right, let's put it there, it'll look nicer. Yeah, it looks good. So how to test this? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the gaming. I'm going to test this one in editor mode quickly, just to see if this actually works. So I'm going to do essentially the same thing as before by linking these up to, or convert them to a standard turbine and then link them up to an electric energy interface to draw all the power. What I'm going to do then is just get rid of that, throw some infinity on here. So I'm just going to fill these tanks up with the compressed nitrogen and see how well that transfers. So they should be full, that should go into there, it should go into there. So these pumps are actually running at maximum speed. So yeah, it looks like I do actually need a complete pump for every 10. So these want to pull. So it's a confusing thing, they don't pull their 480. I guess it's because they hit the 2.5 megawatts of power limit before they hit the fluid limit. So if that's let's call that 150 by 10. Then I should only need 1500. Why are they 2400? I feel like it should be 1500. Oh, is it because... Yeah, I think because the turbines actually store gas, you can see how it's going up to 7.5 thousand compressed nitrogen. I think I won't see those pumps stabilise until that's got to the full amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward it a bit and then see what happens then. So a bit of fast forward, and I think these have stabilised at 1461, which is fine because my maths was approximate anyway. But these aren't getting enough, so it's interesting that one's getting enough, and then you'd think that's the longer route, but pipes can be weird in Factorio. So yeah, I definitely need one pump per set, and I was actually going to apply to this, so that's 10 as well. So this here would need to be changed over to that. Now the problem there is that you get a lot less outputs on these large tanks than those medium tanks, so it's like, well, where do I put the next outlet? I have to kind of start messing around and putting them there and stuff. That doesn't fit. I could maybe use a small pump. Let's see what a small pump does. Is it fast enough? 1400. I haven't unlocked this small pump 2 yet, so I think the answer is no, a small pump is not good enough for this purpose. So that is unfortunate. I wonder if I can put one there. I feel like the answer is going to be no. But let's see, so at most 0. Oh, it's managed to get the full capacity, so I can put one there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that actually worked for now. So yeah, I'm going to go with that and I'll fix that one as well. I suppose that also means using the blue pipe probably didn't help me at all here. But I don't know, it looks kind of nice. I'll just leave it alone. Got blue for nitrogen, how about that? So that is, I've got a few more of those to build, but that is essentially the CO2, nitrogen, the hydrogen and the oxygen all done for compressed gas, and a few extra little bonus things here. 218 out of, or 220 out of 250,000, so that tank's going to take a while to fill up. So I might be needing a change already, so I possibly underestimated how much this residual gas I was going to get. Which means this is full and these are going to back up eventually trying to get this out. Now I thought about it as 2 options here, so I could expand this, but I still don't think I'm going to need necessarily too much argon. Because so far I was only using this one setup here to do it anyway. So yeah, I could upgrade this. What I think I'm going to do for the time being though is I'm just going to vent the excess trace gas, excess residual gas, because I don't think it's going to do me anything. I don't think it's going to be that useful in the short term. So that can go there and vent, and that should solve that problem. So also having to think about what I actually want to do with this compressed gas now I've got it. Because all my current industry for the most part wants uncompressed gas. But when I'm looking around, there's a few cases of things here that don't use compressed gas, don't use uncompressed gas, they want it compressed. So I've got this tango compressed hydrogen here, so I could link up that. And I'm taking compressed nitrogen here. And that's for ammonia, so I think ammonia could just be the thing I do for today. It'll get me the pipes linked up, so I need to take nitrogen from there up to there. And I need to take oxygen from here, hydrogen rather, so let's have to figure out how that's going to look. So if that's the pipeline there, isn't it? So let's just extend this pipeline. Let me see if I can line it up with, where's one of these that's kind of spaced evenly? I think it's this one. Let's go with this one. So that should be there. That would put that there, then there. Then I guess when I do build this, I'll build around the pipes, but for now I'll make it just work. That looks fine like that. Because eventually that will be going entirely. So yeah, this will come over here. And then it will go up north at some point. So where's my... Well, I don't think I need too much of it, so maybe I can get away with putting a small pump on the... Well, actually I found out before doing that worked fine, so let's just do that. Try to use one type of pump, I think is simpler. And then, can I island top this? Maybe not? No. So I need to go down... I guess I'll just come over here. So that can go there, come back up. And then that can link together, and then I'll just finish linking all these bits of pipe together, and then I should be good to go. And the nitrogen, that should be much simpler. So if I take, let's say here, so come down to here, go to one of those tanks, let's move that over a bit, give that a pump as well, give the pump some power, and then that can just come up here and link into this here. And then once that's all done, I can just demolish the old stuff. So let's upgrade that pipe just for simplicity as that continues along. That can go, and these pipes can go all the way back up here. Don't need these surge compressors or tanks or anything anymore here. So starting to gradually dismantle the original stuff then. Also, I suppose I might as well do the argon while I'm at it. So argon is... Maybe that wasn't the best way of doing it. Let's move that onto the edge of there. That gives me an output there I can use. So let's take that, put a pump on it. And then that's going to go up north and basically follow along the compressed nitrogen route. Join up with that one there. Of course, one possible issue is I actually need to check what uses this is compressed. Which means A, I need to get the stuff out of this pipe, and B, do I need it compressed or uncompressed? Need compressed there. So that needs compressed and uncompressed, and this goes nowhere. Okay, so I could use a barrel pump, which is nice and cheap. That will decompress it. So I think that's a worthy trade. So I'll run the compressed line, build a barrel pump, and then I'll use that to feed the uncompressed stuff for now. Speaking of which, I just checked the recipes. All the recipes for optical cable, even the box version, still wants uncompressed argon. So uncompressing it, that's actually going to be a permanent job. There's no reason to have... There's no recipe that uses compressed argon. I have to decompress it for that. That's fine. So let's just drive over there. But unfortunately, the only easy way of doing this is going to be to delete the entire pipe and rebuild it to get the argon out of the pipe. But fortunately I've got robots, they can assist with that, so basically I can Control X to cut it and then Control V to place it back, and by picking it up and putting it down again they'll empty the pipe out. So compressor can just go away entirely. This will become a compressed line, so let's just get rid of all of this. How big is the barrel pump? If it fits in this gap, that'd be epic, but let's find out. So one barrel pump, I did build one. There it is. 3x3. Why has it got to be so big, do you think? Well, it's essentially the size of a assembly machine. Like, wouldn't the whole point of having a dedicated building for barrels that be smaller? Because, like, I've got a 3x3 in regular Factorio. Oh well, anyway, so 3x3, that's not going to fit there like that. I suppose I could put it up there. It's a bit of extra pipe, but it's workable at least. So that's going to come around there, go around there. And we're going to decompress the argon from compressed argon into uncompressed argon. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to put a yield module on that? I suppose that would be kind of cheating though. And then I guess I'll leave the pipe in the same place as the original pipe, because otherwise I'm going to have problems with all that stuff. So that then, oh, that's slightly in the way, isn't it? Let's do it that way then. So that's going to be compressed argon, and I'll replace the entire pipe. So delete the whole thing and rebuild it. Actually, maybe an easier way here I thought of, since I've got this stuff. I know if I do that, put a pump on it, hopefully it won't take too long for the pump to pump out the whole pipe if I disconnect the other end. And it's done, so let's delete that. Where did that argon come from? Come on. Like immediately after I deleted it. Did I maybe not disconnect it properly? Nope, this clearly doesn't want to work. It's just got some stuck there, but it's not pumping. Yeah, sometimes it seems to work, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not really sure what the logic is behind it, but it looks like back to the hard way. No, apparently I'm just not paying attention, because I was like literally looking at the button. So let's delete that. Hopefully that is now literally got no argon in, it's not going to just glitch again. So let's do that, then connect that up. Yeah, that button was literally just there the whole time and I just wasn't paying attention to it. What happens when you go away for Christmas break? You forget all the little tricks. Looks like the carbon fibre here also requires the unboxed version, or the uncompressed version rather. So let's see if I can put that there. Has that got power? No. Well, let's give it power. And it's one tile over. Well, that's fine. So that can go there. That can go decompression on that. That can move over there. And that will supply those. And I think the last one was the stuff up here, which is, well, it is up here. Bunch of stuff. Do any of those actually use compressed argon? Let me just check the recipes quickly. What have we got? Nope, the answer seems to be no. Once again, the boxed recipes, as far as I can tell, searching around, do not use compressed argon. Okay, of course, I've got the recipe book mod installed, so I've not been using, so I could use that. So compressed argon. So that's the one I'm doing already to make those Mark II lamps. Use it for that. That's not going to be a high throughput thing anyway. I'll just make that when I need it type deal. That one's interesting. I will want to get those upgrades, so I will be wanting some for that, and graphene. So sorry, it's kind of a mixture of stuff that wants it and stuff that doesn't. So since I don't know for sure, nothing else will need it, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to keep putting the barrel pumps. Alright, I'm going to put the barrel pumps near to things that need it, because I think it's easier to decompress than it is to recompress. So if I come up here, where was it? It was over here, wasn't it? So that's the input. If I can fit that in, say, let's get rid of that. Fit that in there. Is that pipe long enough? Not really. I guess I can move. Let's just do that. That'll look nice. That can go there. Really wish it wasn't a 3x3. It does make it a little bit more awkward, but that will fit fine. It's got power. And all I need to do is purge this pipe, and then I can connect this pipe up. Actually, I should just delete this stuff here, shouldn't I? Before I accidentally mix the fluids. So where was this? This. So this whole setup here is basically done now. I'm not going to use that anymore. So purge all of that and it should stay empty. Good. Then that can come back here and it can link this up again. So that's going to link up there. Guess I don't need that section. Plenty of compressed argon for the time being, although yeah, it's very slow production. It's actually going to store quite a bit in the pipe by itself, and then you've got this massive storage tank here. But I think I'm going to find it. I've got enough. So actually, I guess I can check that since that's all of my production moved. If I go production fluids, let's look at argon, specifically compressed argon production. Let's just slow it down to there again. I don't know, maybe I actually will run out. If I'm producing 240 and I'm consuming 375. Might run out. I'll keep an eye on it, because if I do start running out I will need to redo this. So then instead of dumping so much of this trace gas, or whatever this is, residual gas, trace gas, I forget which one it is actually. Residual gas, so instead of dumping the residual gas, make some more of these. But I've got space here, especially if I tidy those pipes up. So another major production chain or two out of the way. I think it's going to be time for a break here. So I've not really done too much, I guess, with the compressed gas. I've just got some of the initial products, so the CO2, the nitrogen, the hydrogen, the oxygen, which are basically some of your starting products to then make further things. Did a little bit with the compressed argon. I suppose I did the ammonia, which is a tiny little bit since I use compressed gas anyway. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as this. I'm going to have to see what I actually need to produce next. Still working through all those researches to get to the next science pack. So what I might do is look at what's the next science pack need, and then prioritise that. Probably I'm going to upgrade this, because this was a bit of a pain when I bought it the first time. I've probably still not got a very good setup. You can see it's just burning stuff at the moment to try and keep things balanced, which probably means my circuits are still not good. But I think that's a fairly large thing that could probably benefit from being upgraded. But otherwise it's going to be, if there's anything completely new that I can do from scratch. And I need to make a decision, do I whip this down? I could tear this down, I could use the barrel pumps to supply the oxygen and the CO2 and stuff. I suppose the other flip side of that question is, if I do build something new, say over here, do I want to just upgrade all the pipes? Do I lay a separate pipe? I've got space for more pipes there. So I do have lots of choices, so you have to go and have a think about that, and that will be something for next time, so be sure to like, subscribe and tune in for that.